And I think we're good now. All right, for the record then, this is cause number CCL 21C015, Amanda Glass and Michael Glass. Let me see who's in the waiting room here. Do you know what your client is on?
No, sir, I don't. They usually are at the Texarkana office with the domestic violence representative.
I have some names and some that are not named. I don't see anyone named Glass. So I
I can get
suppose. I suppose I'll just have to take out the ones that have phones and find out who they are. Let's see who this is.
Judge, I'll make notes as you go along who they are.
All
Because
right,
we'll probably need this for CPS also, I'm assuming.
we will. Thank
So
you.
I'll make notes.
This is Z3153V.
Okay.
If they connect, looks like they're having trouble though. Okay, can you tell me who you are? Z315? Person that just connected on the Z315 phone. Can you tell me who you are? You're muted. I'll need you to unmute if you're talking to me.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can. Who are you, sir?
Okay, this is Michael Glass.
Okay, good. That's exactly the case we just called.
So did I miss it?
No, no.
Okay.
I just want to make sure who you were.
Okay, yes, sir. Just bear with me. I have a not so good phone here, not so good connection, so I'm trying.
Well, you're coming through just fine. Let's see. Let me find the petitioner. You know what they're on? I guess I need you to find out, Ms. Fisk, what the
I'm trying to text them right now, Your Honor.
Can I have these? Split microwave phone. I'm in court.
Yes, ma'am, this is Kim Fisk. Are they on Zoom? What are you listed under? Dakota. Okay. Okay, hold on. Judge,
Yes.
I've got Kim on the phone. She said they're on the listed under Dakota. She thought they are in the waiting room.
I see them, so I'll let them in.
Okay. Thanks, Kim.
Mr. Glass, can you turn on your video?
I'd honestly rather not.
Why is that?
No disrespect, Your Honor. I just would rather not.
I need to be able to see you. This is a This is as though we were in the courtroom, so
Okay, is everybody else gonna be able to see me?
I'm sure they will. Go
Give
ahead
me a
and turn.
sec, Judge. Hold on 1 minute.
All right. Okay, Dakota, who is Dakota, Ms. Fisk?
That's the domestic violence office, and Miss Glass is there.
Okay. Domestic violence office, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right, who am I speaking to?
This is Kim Neff.
Okay, Kim, can you turn on your video, please?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Glass, you're good. Just hold what you got.
There you go. Click. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I believe we have the two parties. So this is cause number, for the record, cause number CCL 21C015, matter of Amanda Glass and Michael Glass. Is the petitioner ready?
We're ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Glass, are you ready to go forward?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Ms. Fisk, you may call your, well, let me ask first, Mr. Glass, do you understand the nature of this petition and what they're asking in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, are you in agreement or disagreement?
I'm not fighting this any bit.
So you're in agreement with it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you understand that if I enter a protective order, then you basically, even though it's an agreed matter, you would still be bound by it, just as though we had a sort of a knockdown, drag out fight, so to speak. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Okay. Now, one of the ramifications of an order of this nature is that you cannot own or possess a firearm or ammunition during the period of the protective order. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I understand. I do not own a firearm at this time.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to do this, Mr. Glass. I'm going to ask Ms. Fisk. Can you see and hear Ms. Fisk? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. She's the attorney representing Mrs. Glass. And I'm going to ask her to state on the record what she is asking the court to enter in this cause in the way of a protective order. And then I'll ask you if you agree or disagree, okay?
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Fisk.
Your Honor, one thing before we start, I'd just like to ask Mr. Glass if he has disposed of his guns, because one of the allegations was that he had texted her a picture of him holding a gun and pointed at his neck.
That was not my shotgun. That was my stepfather's and mother's shotgun that I had in my possession at the time.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I do not have that. No.
Okay. Your Honor, we're asking that this protective order be put in place for 2 years, that he attend and complete the batterers intervention program, that any gun license be suspended, and like you said, that he not be in possession of any guns, and for attorney's fees and costs, attorney's fees of $175.
Okay. Mr. Glass, agree or disagree?
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with the fees and such, being as I am not employed right now. And, you know, all this is really uncalled for, because I don't, no matter what y'all have heard or been told, I would never harm her or her daughters or any of her kids. I don't have the desire to go to Hugh Springs. So I'd have to disagree with the attorney fees, only because I can't afford it, to be honest with you, Judge.
Do you agree with the rest of what she's proposing?
What's all the class thing? What was that about?
Go ahead, Ms. Fisk.
That is a program for is someone who has been involved in domestic violence to help with any future domestic violence problems. It's a class that I think it's there in Atlanta.
Yeah, see, I'm in Longview, so that's an hour. That's probably an hour drive for me. I mean, is that going to cost? I mean, honestly, I don't feel I need that. I think my problem's been solved. I'm good moving forward with my life, and honestly, don't feel like I need to do that.
Do they have that program in Longview, Ms. Fisk?
I'm not aware, Your Honor, if it is or not. Could we state that if it's available in Longview, that he participate in that program?
Does it cost, for one thing? I mean, I have no problem if that's what the judge orders. I mean, I'll abide by anything said and that I'm ordered to do. I have no problem with that. But my situation, you know, it doesn't let me allow to pay for things. And like I said, I'm sorry she feels this way, but Amanda didn't have to feel threatened by me in any way. I have no desire to cause any harm or to even be in the presence. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want to do video, Judge. So.
Does it cost, Ms. Fisk, and if so, how much?
Typically it does, Your Honor. I know the one in Texarkana and I think the one in Cass County also cost a fee. I'm not sure what it is.
Well,
Okay.
to be honest with you, I mean, for you guys to do that, and no disrespect, ma'am, Pam, Judge, but to do something like that, you'd really be putting me more of a bind because, like I said, I'm unemployed, and it'd just be real hard for me to do. And if I couldn't pay for it and couldn't do it, and that would mean that I would have to break the grounds of this order, and I'm sure something would happen to me. And you know, as far as criminal justice or whatever, but it wouldn't be. I mean, it wouldn't be necessarily something that I'd do willingly. You know, I just have no. I can't pay for it, man. The honor.
Okay.
Mr. Glass, are you unemployable or what? Why are you not employed?
Well, right now, I'm not employed because ever since the freeze, I've been having really bad problems with my truck. I've just now gotten it running right, and I haven't been looking for work because I've tried to fix my truck, and it's costed money that I did not have, that family members have had to help me with. But that's why. I mean, I'm not going to be unemployed long, hopefully, God willing.
Okay. Your Honor, I've just been informed that there is a BIP program in Longview, and each program has their own fee schedule.
Okay. Well, it doesn't appear that even though Mr. Glass says he's in agreement, he really isn't in agreement with most of the.
Only because I can't afford it, Your Honor. That's the only reason why.
I understand. I mean, you have a right not to agree. But basically it's a package deal. Either y'all have an agreement or you don't. If you don't, then I'm going to ask Ms. Fisk to go ahead with her evidence in the case. So do y'all have an agreement or not?
I'm going to have to disagree because I can't pay for it.
Okay. All right, Ms. Fisk, call your first witness.
Your Honor, I'd call Amanda Glass.
Ms. Glass, can you see and hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, raise your right hand and be sworn. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you're to give the court will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
You may lower your hand. You may proceed, Ms. Fisk.
Thank you, Your Honor. Amanda, state your name for the record, please.
Amanda Glass.
And you are currently married to Michael Glass.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you and he have any children together?
No, ma'am.
Now I'm going to take you back to the incident that happened on January the 8th of 2021. Can you tell the court what happened that morning or that day?
That day, it was that evening. We got into an argument about my son, and everything's not fresh on my mind anymore. But he got into my face and showed me some cuts on his arms and told me, "Look at what you make me do." Was just yelling at me, "Look at what you make me do." And he had a hoodie on, and he had pulled his shirt up and was put his arm in my face and was showing me the cuts, I guess, from a couple of days before. And then he pulled, I didn't know at the time what it was. He pulled something out of his hoodie pocket and sliced his arm open in front of me, while he had been screaming that this is what I make him do. And I called I called 911, and he threw a box cutter down on the coffee table. I called 911 and was on the phone with them so that he could get medical help.
Just a moment. Mr. Glass, you can't smoke. This is a court proceeding.
Okay, I didn't know that. Sorry.
You need to put that out. Go ahead.
Right. And then I called.
Amanda,
Yes, ma'am.
let me ask you this. Did the ambulance come and pick him up?
Yes, ma'am, they did.
And where did
Officers
they-
arrived first, and then the ambulance came. He was very upset that the officers arrived.
Where did they take him at that point?
They took him to, I believe, Pittsburgh, hospital in Pittsburgh, and kept him there until they released him to Glen Oaks Behavioral Center in Greenville. And I believe he was there for several days.
Okay. Did he contact you while he was at the hospital or the behavioral care?
Yes, ma'am. Well, he tried. I didn't respond, but he left the night that he went to the hospital in Pittsburgh. He texted me many times, and I never responded. And while he was at the hospital, he called me all the time and left voicemails.
Do you know what the recommendations were when he left the hospital?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay. Is that the first time that he has been in a mental health facility?
No, ma'am, it is not.
What led to the other, or at least one other?
The other time that he was put into a facility, I mean, he's been evaluated by MHMR many times, and he's told me that he tells them exactly. I mean, he spent the night in jail, and I believe it was in late October, early November. He tells me that he tells them what they want to hear so that he can get out and go about his business. But when he was in the behavioral health center before, it was for a suicide attempt because he was upset with me.
Okay. And is that the event you're talking about? That was either the end of October, the first of November?
The end of October, the 1st of November was when he had sent me a picture of a gun to his neck. He had sent me a picture of a gun in the few weeks before that. And it was his stepdad's gun. And then I don't remember what night it was that he had sent me whatever night. We could go back and look at the jail records or whatever, but that evening he had sent a picture of a gun to his neck to me because I wouldn't respond to his phone call. I was at work and I would not respond to his calls and texts because if I don't respond to his calls and texts at that moment, he goes crazy on me and says that I ignore him and I don't love him and, just mentally bringing me down. But he also sent that picture to a friend of his that he met at a behavioral center in Tyler, and that friend is the one that called the police. I did not call the police because of the consequences I would get at home if I had called the police, and I actually got blamed for calling the police in the first place, but it was not me. It was his friend Mark. I'm not sure Mark's last name, but Mark had turned it in, and he wasn't sure where we lived, but as soon as they heard the name Michael Glass, they knew the address because they've been through our home several times in the past couple of years.
Okay. So what was the end result of that? The police were called to his home, and what happened?
He was, they wanted me to take him to a mental health facility, which I would have done, but then they ended up, I'm not sure why they arrested him. I think they tased him and arrested him because he was, saying that he wasn't going to go anywhere without me. And so he spent the night in jail, and they said that he had to be evaluated by MHMR via Zoom, and he did that, and then he was released. He was supposed to follow up with psychiatric care, and he did not.
And it was after this January incident that you filed for the protective order. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, the night of January the 8th, I didn't even know that that a protective order could be put in place for mental and emotional abuse. I had no idea until the officer spoke to me, and I went first thing Monday morning to the DVC to file that protective order, because I'm always scared, not really that he's gonna physically harm me, but mentally the abuse has been so awful that I've thought about suicide myself.
She just told y'all that she knew that I would not
Sir,
hurt
you
her
can't,
physically.
you can't speak right now. I will give you an opportunity, but please remain quiet until I tell you can talk, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Amanda,
Yes, ma'am.
has he threatened to kill himself but kill you first?
There's been a time that he told me if I ever cheated on him, he said I would kill you, or I would kill the person that you're with, and then kill myself just so that you could live with the pain. He's told me that.
What other type of behavior, besides the cutting himself with the box cutter, what other kind of, I guess, violent behavior has he exhibited in front of you and to you and around you?
The screaming, constant screaming, slamming doors, stomping, breaking things, throwing things,
At
leaving
you?
the home. Never directly at me, but I mean, things have hit me because they broke and shattered. Leaving the home and peeling out of the driveway, waking me up in the middle of the night, screaming at me.
Okay. You heard him say a little bit ago that he didn't have any guns right now. Do you know whether or not that's true? Does he
No, ma'am,
own any
I don't.
guns?
He does not. He did not own any guns before he left. The gun that he sent a picture of to me that evening, and back in October or November, that was his stepdad's gun.
Okay. But
And
does he have access?
I don't know if he has access. He is staying in their home right now.
Okay, so he does. So are you afraid of him?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And how long are you asking the court? Well, are you asking the court to make this temporary protective order permanent?
Yes, ma'am. I would love
And
that.
and
Yes,
for
ma'am.
how long?
As long as the judge will allow it at maximum, please.
Do you believe that him attending a program for batterers would be beneficial to him and eventually to you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I do. I do.
And are you asking that he be ordered to pay the attorney's fees of $175 in any court costs?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that he needs to be court ordered to have some type of psychiatric treatment?
Yes. Yes, he does.
Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Glass, you have an opportunity to what lawyers call cross-examine the witness, that is, ask her questions. This is not a time to get in an argument, but if you want to ask her questions, you may do so. Give her a chance to answer when you ask the question.
Your Honor, I really don't have anything to say to her, but I mean, I got to plead my side of the case on things that she said.
I'm going to give you that chance, okay?
Okay, yeah, no, then I really don't have no desire to speak to her.
Okay. Ms. Fisk, call your next witness.
That's all the witnesses that I have, Your Honor. We rest at this time.
Okay, Mr. Glass, and then now is your turn to tell me what you want me to hear, as long as it's relevant.
Well, I mean, as far as throwing things and breaking things around the house and slamming doors and peeling out the driveway, she's absolutely correct on all of that. But what she did fail to mention is numerous times she's also done the same thing: throw stuff around the house, break, get angry, scream. Your Honor, I've been diagnosed with anxiety. I've dealt with it most of my life. But the most severe part of it, and I want to say cost, but I don't want to put blame on Amanda, but I love this woman with everything I had, and sometimes I felt like I wasn't loved equally back. So that right there will make a man go crazy. So, I mean, of course, I always I got nothing else to say.
Okay.
I just can't, Your Honor, I really don't think that forcing me to attend a class, I mean, okay, maybe it'll do me some good. I'll give you that, but I really don't think that that's what I need to be cured of my problem. You know, I've gotten over the past. I'm trying to move forward. I have no desire to have anything else to do with Amanda. I hope she has a great life with her family. I don't want no harm on her or her family, and God bless them. But honestly, I just don't feel like this is the way to go, or I need to go. Y'all got nothing to worry about. And I guess that's about it.
Okay. Any questions, Ms. Fisk?
Yes, sir, just a couple. Mr. Glass, you said you have been diagnosed with anxiety. Are you under the care of a doctor right now?
Well, not at the moment, because, you know, since I've gotten out of the Glen Oaks, you know, I haven't had a job. To my knowledge, I'm not covered on any insurance anymore. So it costs money to see a doctor. I do still have medication that I still am taking. Venlafaxine, or however you pronounce it. It's Effexor. I take 225 milligrams of that daily. And as long as I got good people around me and, you know, helping me up and keeping me picked up, I'm good. As long as I feel loved, I'm good. It's all right. So I honestly don't, you know, I don't think I need counseling. Even when I seen Caitlin Branham while me and Amanda were still together, it really wasn't doing me no good. I needed my wife to pick me up is what I needed. But it's, you know, all that's over. So I moved past that, so I don't have to be worried about whether she loves me or not anymore. Therefore, I ain't got to be full of anxiety and depression all the time. So, like I said, nothing, no harm will ever come to Amanda and her kids.
Your Honor, that's all I have.
Okay. All right. Well, the court finds that there has been family violence and it's likely to occur in the future. Therefore, the petition for entry of a protective order is granted. Protective order will run for 2 years according to the terms and conditions set forth in the request in the petition for a protective order. I will order that the respondent enter into and successfully complete a BIP program in Longview if available. He's not to have any firearms or any type of weaponry or any type of ammunition. I'm not going to order him to pay attorney's fees based on his statement that he's not currently able to afford attorney's fees. However,
Thank you, Your Honor.
I do think the batter's course would assist you. You guys are not divorced, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so you're still married, so I think if there was ever any hope that the marriage might survive, and that's up to the two of you, the batter's course might be of assistance, Mr. Glass, so I'm going to order that. All right, I'll order Ms. Fisk to get Mr. Glass a copy of the order as soon as it's signed. Mr. Glass, what is the best way for her to get that to you? Do you have a mailing address?
Yes, sir.
What is your mailing address?
3300 Lansing Switch Road. Lot 237, Longview, Texas, 75602.
You get that, Ms. Fisk?
Lot 237.
Yes, ma'am.
And what is the zip for Longview again?
75602.
Yes, sir, I've got it.
Okay, Mr. Glass, the primary thing that the court is interested in this case, as far as the protective order, is basically that you stay away from her and not have any contact with her during the existence of the order. Except for, and y'all have children together, is that correct? You
No,
don't
sir.
have children.
No,
Okay.
Your Honor, but since you're on that subject, and forgive me for interrupting, but if I'm ordered to abide by this order, then I feel like she needs to be told not to be contacting my sons to get to me, to pass me a message while the protective order was filed before it got canceled because of the snow. And I could bring a witness to that if I needed to.
That's a matter
Okay.
you would actually have to file some type of separate action. I can only grant the
Okay.
matters that are filed for, Mr. Glass.
So what happens if she decides to try to ruffle my feathers or whatever? So I'm just, go ahead, Judge. I'm sorry.
I would
You
have-
forgive me.
I would have to refer you to get some legal advice in that regard if that occurs.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. All right. That's going to conclude this case. Parties are excused, and you may sign off, Mr. Glass. Ms. Glass.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
All right.
Amanda, let Kim come back on.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, Ms. Neff indicated that Mr. Brimmer should be on here, or he did receive service. Is that right,
Okay.
Kim?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do we know? Let's see. Brimmer.
I can forward you the verification of service real quick if you'd like for me to.
Kim, was that service of the notice of the hearing or?
Yes,
or
ma'am.
both?
Both.
Both, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Brimmer. I don't see a Brimmer in the waiting room. Some of these names I recognize. Let's see if this may be him. Okay, I'm talking to the person who has the phone designated as Lucas BR. Can you tell me who you are?
Can you see me?
I cannot. Who am I talking
This is
to?
Beverly Lucas, CPS.
Okay, Beverly. We haven't gotten to your case yet, so I'm gonna put you back in the waiting room, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, Libby Lucas is
I got it. Beverly Lucas
Beverly.
with CPS. Got it.
Most of these have names. Fortunately, there's a Galaxy tab. SC, let me see who that is. Looks like they're having trouble connecting.
Okay, Tom, we're here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the Geffords are here.
Geppert?
Here, you hold it. And let me go try to help Scott. Okay. Let me put this on mute.
Okay. Mr. Geppert, can you hear me, sir? Galaxy tab is Mr. Geppert. That's a CPS case.
Okay, I had to unmute it.
Yes, sir.
We haven't gotten to you. I was trying to find out who you are. So we will get to you. We're waiting on some attorneys. They have a court in another court next door. So just hang with us. We will get to you, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm gonna put you back in the waiting room for now. That's Mr. Geppert, Libby.
Got it.
Okay, see who else. The only other non-name I see is Ricky's iPhone. We're looking for Mr. Wilson Bremer, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Let's see if perhaps it's Ricky's iPhone.
And I think Kim just filed that service on him for today's hearing.
Okay. Okay, whoever's on Ricky's iPhone, can you tell me who you are, please? Ricky's iPhone, can you tell me who you are, please?
Ricky Johnson. I'm the program director for FBSS on the Arwood case.
Okay, very good, Ms. Johnson. I'm going to put you back in the waiting room, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Ricky's. I haven't located Mr. Brimmer. Are you certain that he's going to appear?
Your Honor, I don't know. I just know that he was served with the notice to appear. And the note, the notice that it was scheduled for today.
Well, let's do this by process of elimination. I have Ms. Shelton here in the room with me. Can you hear me, Ms. Shelton? I'm going to see if all the rest of these are related to your cases, okay? Shelby Hudson. August Crowley, a CPS. Jill Black. Brandon Jones. Jessica Attaway. Bart Claver.
She is the placement for the, Campbell.
Okay. Vicky Claver.
Placement.
Tricia Smith, I know. April Hill, I know. Alora Gassiet.
She is not a party. I don't know that she really needs to be brought in. She's just in national placement.
Okay. The R Woods, I know, are yours. Lucas BR. Courtney Shelton, Ricky's iPhone. So that's everyone in the waiting room. Apparently he's not there.
Which one, Powell?
We were looking for Mr. Brimmer. He doesn't appear to be in the waiting room. Let me check, make sure. No, that's everyone who's in the waiting room. Ms. Harkey, do you see anybody else?
I'm not able to see the waiting room.
Okay. Well, I just went through all of the names in the waiting room for the record, and apparently none of them belong to Mr. Brimmer.
Your Honor, I would ask that we go forward then. He's had notice and an explanation of how to get on the Zoom to attend the hearing today. So I'd ask that we go forward with this protective order.
All right, that's granted. You may proceed. Call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I call Karen Dawson.
Let's see.
That's there. It's the
She's
Dakota.
Dakota, okay.
Yeah, here she comes.
Ma'am,
Karen.
can you hear me and see me okay?
Yes.
All right, very good. Raise your hand and be sworn, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
May lower your hand. You may proceed, Ms. Fisk.
Thank you, Your Honor. Karen, state your name for the record, please.
Karen Dawson.
And you have been in a relationship with Wilson Brimmer. Is it Brimmer or Brimmer?
Primer.
Brimmer. How long have y'all been in a relationship?
Since 2018.
Okay. And did you live together all that time?
No.
When did you start living together?
Around last summer, probably
Okay.
the end of the summer.
Okay. And you and he have a child together, is that correct?
No, it's
not
my
your
daughter.
child.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. So on November the 20th of 2020, you and he split up, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell the court what happened that caused that separation?
From the beginning to the end, or just the fight?
You had a fight. Okay,
Okay,
let's start
yes,
that
we
way.
had a fight.
You had a fight that night. Did he injure you in any way?
Yes, ma'am.
What did he?
He punched me. He knocked me to the ground in front of my daughter.
Where was he
punched
punching you?
in the face.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He punched me multiple times. I don't know how many times. Was screaming, calling me names. My glasses fell off, and he busted my nose and my mouth. And
You said that he shoved you down.
yes, ma'am.
Did he keep punching you then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. At some point, did he get on top of you?
Yes, ma'am.
And was he punching you then?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall how you got away from him?
He eventually I was trying to get out from under him, and he eventually allowed me to get up, and I ran and grabbed my daughter and went in. This happened outside the house, and I grabbed my daughter and ran into the house.
Okay. And what did you do?
I took her to my bedroom, and then I called my mom to come pick me up, to come over. And he came in the house behind me and seemed fine. And then he started yelling and screaming again. And then my mom got there. I ran and took my daughter out and put her in her car. And while we were outside, he started screaming and yelling, telling me not to come back. If I came back, he was going to kill me, calling me names. And he took a baseball bat and smashed the windshield of my car and all the windows of my car as we were backing out of the driveway.
Okay. Did you eventually go back to get your possessions?
After I left there, I went to, I met with a police officer at the Linden Fuel Center. That's where I work. I met him there, and they examined me and got a statement from me, and they went to the house to talk to him, and he was burning all of my belongings. He burned all my clothes, tables, decorations, just basically everything in the house. They arrested him, and after they arrested him, they allowed me to go back to the house to get my things. And when I went inside, it was completely destroyed. Everything was either burned or broken.
Did you go to the hospital or emergency room?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you tell us what your injuries were?
I didn't have a concussion. I just had I had a massive lump on the back of a knot on the back of my head. I had hit the concrete outside of our house. And then my nose was really swollen. Nothing was broken, but there was just swelling. My eye was swollen, both my lips were busted, and my nose was busted.
Karen, was this the only incident that happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Like this is physical. Yes, that's the only time.
Okay. Did there come a time when, I guess when y'all moved in, everything was going good? What happened to change? Do you know?
Over time, I noticed like his temper getting shorter, and how he would react to my daughter sometimes, snatching things from her, throwing them, or yelling. And that was the main, that would cause conflict between us, because he's not her father, and it made me very uncomfortable. And that anytime we would have a disagreement or argument, it was usually about something. Like if I thought he wasn't reacting well to her, he slammed doors. But I just I
I brushed it off because I felt like everybody has, you know, moments, but I didn't realize it would become that I didn't know it would become physical.
Did alcohol or drugs play a part in it, do you believe?
Alcohol, and he smokes weed. That was an issue in our relationship, that he would smoke and that it would cause arguments between us. And the night that we had the fight, we had been drinking, but we had drank before, and we never got like that towards each other. But
Are you, at this point, are you afraid of him?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think that he would harm you?
Yes.
You're gonna have to answer out. You're gonna have to say yes or no.
Oh, I said yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I might be too far. I'm sorry.
I just saw you shaking your head. That's
Oh,
okay. Are you asking the court to make this temporary protective order a final protective order?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you how long do you want it?
However long the court will grant it. I don't know. My main fear, I think he's very I think he's just, I don't know, unpredictable, and I just don't know what he'll do.
And he did at some point threaten to kill you, correct?
Yes, and himself.
Okay. And you fear for your son as well? Or your daughter as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you asking that he be ordered to attend the Batterers Intervention Program? The classes with regard to domestic violence?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Does he have any firearms? Does he have any guns or anything like that?
No, ma'am, not to my knowledge.
Okay. And are you asking that he be ordered to pay attorney's fees and costs, attorney's fees of $175?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, he has violated the protective order at one point, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he do?
He had started calling. This was the beginning of January. He had started calling a lot, and I'm trying to think. It was January. Oh, he found out he had a warrant. There was a warrant because of the property. It was for criminal mischief because of the property he destroyed. And when he found out he had a warrant, he started calling and crying, and he wanted to come see me and my daughter. And it was just an ongoing thing all day. And that night he was driving towards Linden. He sent me his location. He was driving towards our house and screaming and crying, saying he had to see us before he went, had turned himself in, or he would kill himself. And I went ahead and contacted the officers in Linden and told them that he was coming. And so they came to my house and waited, and he didn't. He ended up going back home, and then he turned himself in the morning.
And this was after the protective order was served on him, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, I would pass the witness.
All right, and you may call your next witness.
That is all the witnesses I have in this case, Your Honor.
All right. Court finds, based on the evidence, that there has been family violence and it's likely to occur in the future. Based on that, the court enters a protective order as under the terms and conditions as prayed for in the petition. Protective orders to be for a period of 2 years from this date. Will include requiring the respondent to attend and complete a Batterers Intervention course. He's not to have any firearms or ammunition for firearms during the term of this protective order. Request for attorney's fees and court cost is granted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You'll prepare that, I'll sign it.
Yes, sir. We'll get that uploaded today.
You have no service on the other case, is that correct?
That's correct. Kim confirmed that there was no service on Mr. Haley with regard to today.
All right, then you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You also, and your client is excused as well.
Okay. Karen, you can leave. Y'all can
Okay, thank you.
check out.
Okay. Are y'all all gonna join on the same computer?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Wonder if we go in the back, if it'll. I'm trying.